Are we live? Are we live? Maybe, maybe. Could it be? Where are we going here? Do I have it? Is it up? It is up. Just getting things a little settled in here. Appears I have audio and everything. How about that? All right, well, I did not announce this. I didn't announce it, didn't say nothing. So anyways, I got a little email about an hour ago. And my email about an hour ago, if you can see here, is from old YouTube. They're telling you in a nice little email that they own all of your content, regardless if you're a partner, a monetized guy, or if you're just a schlub like me, or if you just don't want to be monetized, whatever the thing may be, is that they're going to monetize you. And they're basically saying they own all your content and you work for them and you're an employee of YouTube. And that's how that goes. And I've actually searched for videos on YouTube about people talking about this particular thing, like maybe it had been in the works for a while, and I found one video that was uploaded 45 minutes ago. So this is just a new thing they're rolling out as part of terms and conditions, where they just say, you uploaded a video, now we own it. Gotcha. So it says you're receiving this email because we're updating the YouTube terms of service to clarify our terms and provide transparency to our users. These changes shouldn't significantly alter your access or use of YouTube service. Really? When you're taking all of the rights to anything that anyone created and giving people royalties instead of ownership, that's kind of a difference. Okay, when royalties, let me explain royalties. Like in books and in music, a publisher will pay for your project and will pay for the promotional and the marketing, which can be sometimes millions of dollars, depending on what it is, for a contract arrangement that you have with them. In exchange for that, they will own your material and pay you a royalty. They'll put up the upfront cash, use their big machinery to go out and print your book or put out your CD or whatever it is they do. And they own the rights to it then. And then you get a royalty for a specific period of time, whatever is set up in the contract. And what YouTube is doing here is saying, well, if you're not a partner, we're just going to put ads on it. And that's just how it's going to be. And if you are a partner, you're going to get royalties now, and we're going to take tax money out and hold on to your taxes. So they went from being a more or less a partner platform program to hook up advertisers with channels and cutting everybody in on the deal, to now they own the content and you're getting a royalty fee. And people like me, we get totally screwed because they're going to put ads on our stuff. And if you expressly don't want ads on your stuff, it doesn't matter. And you're never going to get any of the money. They're just take it. So that's what's going on. I do have 6 people watching. How you doing? Facial, here's the updates to the changes. Okay. Facial recognition restrictions. Terms of service already state that you cannot collect any information that might identify a person without their permission, unless you're YouTube. While this has always included facial recognition information, the new terms of service make that explicitly clear. What they are saying is, you're not allowed to collect facial information data. But YouTube is, of course, because they own the content. YouTube's right to monetize. See, now they have a right. They have a right. YouTube has the right to monetize all. See, they're just stating it. We have the right to do this. We have the right to monetize all content from the platform, and ads may appear on videos from channels not in the YouTube partner program. They have the right to do that? How do they have the right to do that? Now, see, when you explain, like, YouTube is not a paid for service or whatever. It's operating under a sort of a free speech collective entity, much like Facebook and these other things, where the users provide the content. And there is, of course, extra contracts you can get involved in where you get payment for creating content and stuff like this. But for the most part, it is just considered a free speech platform. Obviously we know it's not. But in ideal worlds, it's supposed to just be a free speech platform, much like a forum board or anything else. It's a high-tech forum board where someone can go off and put their opinions on it. That's really what it is. Of course, you have commercial entities on there that are trying to sell stuff, and people that have subscriptions that do videos on how to do woodworking or plumbing or whatever. And those are different sorts of things, but they're all on one platform. And you have the group that's kind of doing it as like an educational hobbyist kind of a thing like I do, which is, whatever. And then you've got the professional side, and the professional side has their own contracts and agreements and their partner sharing programs and all of this stuff, with the understanding that those people own their content and they're putting it up on YouTube to earn this ad revenue. But they always own it. Now, YouTube owns it, and the person is getting royalty fees. So how does someone go about a copyright violation then? Because YouTube owns everything. All the copyright stuff goes out the window. Now they say in here that you still own. Well, we'll get to it. So because you upload a video on YouTube, they have the right to do whatever they want with it. We'll get into that. Royalty payments and tax withholding. For creators entitled to revenue payments, such as payments will be treated as royalties. From U.S. tax perspective, and Google withhold taxes where required by law. Who says that Google gets to do that? I have never heard of anything like this where you're in an agreement in a royalty deal with companies and they're going to withhold taxes on you. How would they ever justify that? Because if you're in it, like, say, for instance, in a book, right? Well, the first week your book sells 100,000 copies or something, and then after that it sells almost nothing. So how would you even know what taxes to take out? Because you're going to be in a different bracket depending on what your book sales are. It doesn't make any sense. It's a scam. Be sure you read the updated terms carefully. Oh, we will. The new terms will take effect today. I got this email like an hour ago. Today. There will be similar changes out with the rest of the world. We'll see how it flies in America first. Land of the slaves. If the land of the slaves, it goes okay there, then we're just going to roll it out everywhere. Maybe like China. All right. So we'll look at their terms here. Your content and conduct. You have a YouTube channel, maybe you upload content, promote your business, blah, blah, blah. Rights you grant. It says here you retain ownership and rights in your content. However, if there's a but or a however, it means you don't retain your rights. We do require you to grant certain rights. So you don't own it. If you're required to grant rights, it means you don't own it. Okay. License to YouTube. By providing content to the service, you grant YouTube a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free, sub-licensable, and transferable license to use the content, including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works, display, and perform it in connection with the service in YouTube's and its affiliates, businesses, including for the purposes of promoting, blah, blah, blah. They want to make that sound like it's just so that they can put it on the internet. Well, that's not really what it's saying, though. Including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works. Derivative works. License to other users. You also grant each other user of the service a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to access your content through the service. Means watchers. No problem there. And they use that content, including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works. Okay, so everybody in their content, anyone in their copyright infringement nonsense, they're saying that nobody has any rights to any of that. It's owned by YouTube. You don't have a right to copyright strike someone if they take your video and put it up on their channel. YouTube owns it. For clarity, this license does not grant any rights or permissions for a user to make use of your content as independent of the service. So here it says that it does not provide for you to take your video off of YouTube and put it up on some other channel. But what's YouTube going to do about it? Nothing. Durations of licenses. Licenses granted by you. I didn't sign anything. For a commercially reasonable period of time. What is that? Commercially reasonable period of time. What is that? What is that? After you remove or delete your content from the service. So even if you delete everything, they're going to keep it up if they have ads on it. You got a video with 5 million hits on it, and you decide you don't want it up there anymore, they're going to keep it up there anyway. So it's in their financial interest to do so because you don't own it. You understand and agree, however, that YouTube may retrain but not display, distribute, or perform server copies of your videos, so they're going to keep it forever. Everybody already knows that YouTube is CIA, right? So yeah, they've got all your stuff forever. Everyone understands that. Your right to monetize. You grant to YouTube the right to monetize your content. Who does it sound like owns this content they speak of? Who really owns it? If you have to grant the right to YouTube to use it. Who really owns it? This is me becoming an employee now for YouTube. I am an employee of them. I can't even say what I want to without getting my videos check marked or flagged or whatever they got, right? If you say anything about flat earth on there, you go into a nice little shadow ban hole, right? You want to have a Christian channel, you're going to the shadow ban hole. You grant YouTube the right to monetize your content on the service, such as monetizing may include displaying ads on or within content or charging users a fee for access. Now, let's just say you don't violate any content guidelines, but they don't like your video. Well, what would they probably do? Even if your video has only like 100 views on it and your channel is super tiny, like 10 subscribers. If they don't want people to see the video, all they got to do is put a 5-minute commercial that you can't skip before it. This agreement does not entitle you to any payments. So you upload a video and you're granting them total access to everything for the life of YouTube forever, and you don't ever deserve anything for it. Starting November 18th, any payments you may be entitled to receive from YouTube under any other agreement between you and YouTube, including, for example, payments under the partner program, memberships, or super chat, will be treated as royalties. If required by law, Google will withhold taxes from such payments. See, a royalty means you don't own it. Okay. I know there might be circumstances. I'm not the super up guy on all the law with all that works, but in writing stuff and doing music, you don't own. If you're owning a royalty on it, you don't own it. You own a piece of it, a part of it. For instance, like a book. So a lot of times your books are financed by people. Obviously, if you're like Stephen King, we're not talking about that. We're talking about first-time publishers are really low, sell a couple of thousand books here and there. You'll get paid like $5,000 to write a book from a company, and then they promote everything. You get your stuff up front so you can work on the book this entire time. And then when it's done, they own it for 7 years. They own the rights to it. So if they, that's just the publishing rights. You still retain the rights for like movies and the audiobooks and things like that. And it depends on the agreement. But there's a sliver of all these different, slivers of all this pie stuff, right? Your book is the pie, and you've got the creative, the book rights, which is going to be owned by the publishing company. Then you've got the audiobook rights, which is probably also going to be owned by the publishing company. But then you've got movie license, and then you've got derivative stuff, video games. You've got all these different pieces of the pie when it comes to this. And it's the same thing sort of with music. Music is pretty much just music. But if you take your average rock band, you've got the actual music and the product is owned by the production company. Geffen Music, for instance, Disney, whatever. But then you've got the person who wrote the songs, he gets a cut of the pie. The person who performs the songs, like if you're a singer, you get another cut of the pie. If you're the guitar player, you get a cut of the pie, whatever. But those are royalty fees that say something like for every one sold, you get a third of a penny. Oh, but you're the songwriter, so you get a full penny. Okay. The actual finished work, though, for however period of time is owned by the thing. But that's all done in contract negotiations. YouTube is here. They're just sending you an email saying, we own all your stuff. And you have to grant us rights to sell it and market it and do whatever we feel like with it. And if you don't like it, you can try to delete it. But for a commercially reasonable period of time, we can still make money off of it. What a deal. What a deal. Removal of content by YouTube. We reasonably believe that any content is a breach of this agreement or may cause harm to YouTube, our users, third parties. We may remove or take down content at our discretion. Of course you will, YouTube. Of course you will. We will notify you the reason of our action. No, you won't. No, you won't. So all the rest of this stuff is account stuff. So anyways, YouTube, this is kind of the official nail in the coffin for YouTube. And, you know, as far as that goes with me, what I probably will end up doing is when I find a place to actually host videos, BitChute just doesn't cut it at the moment. They've been getting better, but you know, it's probably going to be in what, if anyone watches Dollar Vigilante, Jeff Berwick, he does like Bitcoin and stuff like that, as well as the whole COVID scam and generally stuff for awake people. If you're not awake, then don't worry about it. But what they're doing is they're doing like 2-minute videos just for YouTube with the link to go off to some other organization that doesn't pretend to own all your stuff and won't censor you, shadow ban you for just at a whim. And yeah, it's probably what will be going on. Ben case means they can put ads on your video whether a partner or not. Yes. You are a slave to YouTube if you're a creator now. I'd be interested. I would really like to know how it affects people that actually make their living off it, because about 2 years ago, they did an ad change, just terms of use change, and their ad revenue went down by about 60%. Big and small channels, everybody. And there's nothing anybody could do about it. And I kind of found it kind of laughable that you're part of this thing where like you're a slave to this company that just decides how much it's going to pay you. Like, well, if you work, imagine where you guys work, and the next time you go to work, you show up and they go, okay, well, you're making $2 an hour now. What? Oh yeah, didn't you know that part of the agreement for you showing up and putting on the uniform for this company, we get to change your pay rate at any time. It's part of the terms and use and conditions of being employed by Starbucks or Walmart, is that you have no idea what you'll be paid or even if you'll be paid for showing up that day. This is what YouTube is doing. Okay, so yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I'm not going to play around with it. I mean, especially knowing that the internet is forever, you know, once it's in a digital format, you never know where your stuff is going to be popping up and where it's going to be used against you, and where, you know, my channel obviously is not going to be no one's wanting to shout anything I say off the mountaintops, but there's a lot of people who put a lot of good free information out there. And if YouTube just takes your stuff and bundles it up and starts selling it, you know, and selling subscriptions and things like that to your content, it's kind of like, I don't necessarily want to be involved in that. I mean, you're basically providing them an income at this point. You're working for free to provide them an income, and they get to have the fruit of all your labor, which is why I have the slavery picture up there. What's essentially what slavery is you're not entitled, or you're not allowed to keep the fruits of your own labor, is what slavery is. I don't see how to see it anyways different on the old ScrewTube. Um, 11 people up. No one's got much to say. What else did I have? Yeah, this is my search for people talking about it 55 minutes ago when he got it. Apparently this is just, there was no discussion, no talking. There was no on November 18th, we're going to be doing this. There was no nothing. They just put it through and nobody knows anything about it. So yeah, not particularly happy. Royalty is some money paid to a patentee for the use of a patent. Yeah. I don't know if anyone's got suggestions for other places to upload content. Like I said, I do have a BitChute, but I haven't done it in a long time. Most of my JPS, Just Plain Science stuff is going to BitChute. It's the only one that I really upload with because it does take all day to upload to them, and sometimes it errors out, and then you have to do it all over again. Sometimes 4 or 5 different times you have to re-upload. But yeah, I mean, every single time I'm amazed that I'm even still on YouTube, that they haven't kicked me off, because I'm not exactly the most, what do you call it, PC, or none of my ideas fit in with your normal stuff. So I'm surprised that I'm still here. I don't know. I don't know what other people probably just don't care. I mean, if I was monetized like some of these bigger YouTubers that have a few million subs and they probably make, a couple $100,000 a year off YouTube, and then all of a sudden they change the terms in use and all of a sudden you're making 60% less. None of those people actually had any money saved up to actually sue YouTube and do anything about it, or they didn't have any money or any plans or anything to not be on YouTube or to start their own thing or whatever. They all just went down with the ship and decided they're going to make half as much money as what they did before. And then everyone started selling t-shirts. If you're wondering why everyone has a t-shirt, even Sunny D or whatever that guy's name was, the Calvinist dude, he's got his own t-shirts and mugs. And it's like, yeah, because no one's making any money off YouTube. Right. So it just amazes me that nobody had any plans for anything else. I've been planning, to be off YouTube for a long time, but there isn't any service that's even remotely close to getting any traffic. BitChute's getting there, but their search function is very bad. The best bet is to just do a website, which isn't very expensive. Again, I'm amazed at some of these big YouTubers that have 1 million, 2 million subscribers. They don't even have a web page. It's like, well, what do you do if YouTube decides to be mad at you? I don't know. That's their problem, though. That's their problem. Scott Wells says you should look at Parler. All right, we'll look at Parler. Free speech social network. Yeah, 2.8 million users. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably best to do like maybe a conglomeration of some sort, where it's like a web page where many different people can, because video web hosting isn't very much money anymore. It's not like when YouTube got its big start, because it's incredibly expensive. It used to be 15 years ago about, to do large mass data hosting, especially now when you're talking like 4K videos and things like that are like 5-6 gigabytes for just a small video. And back in the day, that was pretty difficult, and not everyone had high-speed internet and everything. But nowadays, yeah, everybody does. Everybody's got high speed. Everybody's got huge, massive storage space. Storage is cheap, and just regular YouTube, or not regular YouTube, regular website hosting will do videos up to like, boy, the one I was looking at was unlimited. It was like $350 or $400 for 5 years. So, I mean, that's not very much money, 10 bucks a month or something for unlimited hosting. And granted, you don't have the user base of a YouTube, but again, you can make a 1-minute video saying, I got something new. Come check me out at my webpage. And, I don't know. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm not going to do that. But maybe if a group of people did, or I don't know. I'm very displeased, though, about the current YouTube situation. There is another one out there that's there are some people that have software that they'll upload when they do a video. They can upload to like 10 different platforms at once. Again, that's something you got to pay for. Even StreamYard, if you pay for it, will allow you to upload to multiple different places. A couple. I don't even think BitChute's on there, but a couple where that would make that a little bit more viable. But even still, I don't want to upload to YouTube. They're just going to stick ads on my stuff. Here's the thing is, like, I have no problem being monetized as long as I'm in the agreement and we shake hands on the deal through my little acceptance check mark or whatever. You're going to give me 1/1000th of a penny for ad revenue. Fine. It's my choice if I can agree to that or not agree to that. But in return, then YouTube has a reason to promote my videos. So they have a reason to categorize my videos accurately and put them in the search engine. The only way you can find my videos right now is using the exact title name and then putting Max Bauer at the end of it. And then you will actually get me. If you just type in Max Bauer, you will actually get my channel. It's amazing. But if you search directly for the exact title of one of my videos you see in my list and you put it into the search engine, it won't come up. That's how black of a box I'm in. Now, if I was monetized, it would be to their benefit to put me into the search algorithm, right? So if I do a video on Calvinism, someone searches Calvinism. Someone searches Daniel 70th week. Someone searches Genesis, basics of the Bible, right? Someone searches some of these things, they would get my videos. The way that it is now, no. Which is fine, because I'm not monetized. I pursued that, and then they kicked me off right away. So whatever. It is what it is. But now they're saying, no, we're going to both kick you off, let everybody give you nasty Graham community guideline strikes. We're going to censor your videos in different countries. We're going to do all this stuff. And then the ones that get through, we're going to put ads on them. Which is really weird, because a lot of people aren't monetized because of the content is not advertiser friendly. But then they say carte blanche. Oh, well, we'll put ads on them. You can't put ads on them. We'll put ads on them. That lets you know who owns the content. So I don't really want to subscribe to that anymore. So anyways, any thoughts, any things? Otherwise, that's all I really had to say. It's really about it. I'm still I'm mulling. This news is only an hour old to me. So I see it right off. Usually when you see something, the first impression that you get of it is usually correct. All right. I see it as YouTube owns everything that you have. Anything that you upload to them, you're giving them the right to do what they want with it. All right. And nah. And it's odd that they even call you, content creator. I think before that, there was even a different term, and you really have to watch out for the difference in terms, because it means that they're screwing you. Like, it used to be called employee relations 30 years ago. It wasn't called HR. It wasn't called human resources. It was called employee relations, right? Where everyone understood that everyone has the right to contract. Everyone has rights and sovereignty. No, now you're a resource. You're food for the company. You're a resource. You're not an employee relations type thing. You're a human resource. And content creators have sort of always been called content creators recently. Before that, they're like artists and production people. Something that's a defined. What are you now? You're a slave for YouTube. Yeah, you create content, but you're not getting the fruits of your stuff. right? I don't know. They made me mad a long time ago when they kicked me out of China. Once upon a time, old Max was in every country of the world. Imagine that. Imagine that. Back when I had like 100 to 200 subscribers. Yeah. These times they are a-changing. So anyways, that's what I got. That's what I got. And yeah, any thoughts or comments or anything, leave them in the comment dealy. As far as videos, probably not doing too much on YouTube. Maybe not. I mean, if anything, it's going to be live streaming because I don't have so much of a problem with that because I'll just be loose and off the cuff, but I'm not going to spend any time editing video and doing research for something just so they can make a nickel off it. Right. But as far as having the social component of it, having a discussion about scripture, having a discussion about what's going on, obviously now lockdowns are going to be going on again. And, talking about the Grabbler plans and, maybe about YouTube and about the things that are going on in a, what do they call that? A congregational sort of a sense on the live stream. Still probably going to do that. Sure. You want to go ahead and monetize how I think that YouTube is a screw job, they can go ahead and monetize that. And, hey, Wendy, how you doing? Yeah, it's something new every day. This came up an hour ago. I mean, tomorrow it could be gone and they could revert their policy. I don't know. I just thought about talking about that. You know what I was going to talk about, though, the other day, and it's probably worth bringing up. I mentioned a lot about being blacklisted, and I mentioned a lot about be careful who you argue with on the internet because they're probably not real. Because there's companies out there that legitimately there's thousands upon thousands of people that sit behind a computer screen and they have 100 different Facebook, YouTube accounts at their disposal on both sides, Republicans and Democrat sides. And they pretend to be a right-wing conservative. And then they'll post on something as a right-wing conservative. And then they'll post on something as the left-wing guy arguing with him out of nowhere, just to drum up some controversy for whatever the reason may be. Okay. And people maybe kind of laugh at that when I say you're probably a robot, right? When I have this random comment on my video that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, I go, oh, it's the troll farm. So I'll briefly look at this. Otherwise, I probably will do another live stream that's just specifically focused on this, about, especially with this election thing and everything else, that what you be careful, don't even, it's best not to even get involved in like Facebook, posting on news boards or something. Okay. Especially when it comes to politics and COVID and anything like that, because there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that are paid to post on these things from other countries, and they have fake accounts. All right. They're fake people designed to trick and deceive you and steer a narrative. All right. Okay. Why crafty internet trolls in the Philippines may be coming to a website near you. This is a really old article, which means that if they're telling you about it in 2019 or 2018, it means it was going on for about 5 years before that. Okay. It's not a new idea. So anyways, in a white walled room, a cyber army of 4 is furiously typing. 4,000 is more like it. Is furiously typing and posting and clicking and scrolling and trolling. For the next 8 hours, they'll be glued to their screens, more like the next 16 hours. Hired guns of one of Manila's hundreds of troll farms, churning out fake content, false narratives, and anything else the client wants. This trolling mission was for a candidate running in the Philippine Senate or America or anywhere else. It doesn't matter. One aim was to cook up fake social media accounts to make it appear as if the candidate had a vast, fervent base of supporters. Another goal, can you say Joe Biden? Another goal was to smear any critics, especially those who call them out precisely for the jobs they do. Okay. All those people you're arguing with about Joe Biden and Donald Trump and rigging the election, they're probably bots. Okay. Probably bots, or somebody in the Philippines, or somebody in China, or somebody in India, where you can't hear the accent. All you can see is the words that are typed on the screen, and a lot of misspellings or copy and paste errors in the Google Translate. Okay. It's what it is. Unless you know the person personally, I would just assume they're a robot. Across the Philippines is virtual free-for-all. Trolls for companies, trolls for celebrities, trolls for liberal opposition politicians, and the government. Trolls trolling trolls. The world of internet trolls, gaslighting, fabrications, the nastiness is now a fact of life in the web ecosystem nearly everywhere. But something new is happening here. Experienced public relations experts in the Philippines are harnessing the raw energy of young and aggressive social media shapeshifters. So you're arguing with people who are paid to have fun with you and get you riled up. I have been called a professional troll several times, right? People that are completely unaware of my YouTube presence and completely unaware of exactly who I am. I know how to push buttons, and I know how to get to the point, and I know how to make people uncomfortable, and I know how to make people look stupid. So I've been called a professional troll. You imagine if someone was paying me to do that, how good of an employee I would be? Amazing. That would be one of the greatest jobs in the world, to sit around and make people angry. Your measure of success is just making people angry. Also showing signs of going global, with the Philippines as a hub. Notice what I say briefly about the Philippines is when you talk about like buildings that have 10,000 people in them making Apple iPhones, they're talking about the Philippines. All of the third world, I don't even know if they rank as a third world countries, but like Burma, Cambodia, Vietnam, all of those poor people, when they need a job, they go to Philippines and they make Apple iPhones or whatever it is. Those are the buildings with the big suicide nets on top, big thing. And people go there and live there in a dormitory and work their 16-hour days. This is what the Philippines is. And now China is outsourcing to Philippines because China is so rich from the America money that now they don't want to do that labor anymore. So that's all going to Philippines. So if you imagine what jobs like this would pay, you know, a third of a penny a post, something like that. This is what disinformation will look like in the US in 2020, said Camille Francois, Chief Innovation Officer at the New York-based social network analysis company Graphica. Political manipulation, she said, does not need to come from an ill-intentioned enemy state. It's Russian bots. It can originate with those who have cut their teeth in the competitive worlds of advertising, media, and marketing. Social media companies she added were caught off guard, notably in the U.S. presidential election in 2016, and could be again with this new iteration. Yeah, the problem, I mean, Google's a security risk, which is why they're part of the NSA. Okay. You know, when they're like, Google is the CIA. YouTube is the CIA, and they have to be because of how much control that they have over everything. They control the narrative on anything. It is a national security risk to not have control of something like Google and YouTube. The Philippines shows us trends that are headed this way, says Francois, who led a report commissioned by the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence investigating Russian trolls in the United States. And its 2019 market is global. So they will find jobs outside of their own nation, like it matters. So Philippines is not the only place, is all they're saying. And yeah. These ambitious operators now want to turn their country into the go-to place to influence corporate and political campaigns worldwide, using the same young, educated, English-speaking workforce that made the Philippines a global call center and the content moderation hub. See, it used to be India until India got all fat on the United States, America money. Okay, now we're going to the Philippines. India's got enough money now where they don't want to be our slaves anymore. So now we're going to go to the Philippines. Washington Post interviewed over half a dozen paid trolls who all spoke on the condition of an anonymity because of the sensitivity and illegality of their work. They offered a glimpse into how Philippine trolls are shaping politics in our area. For the Senate candidate, for example, the hired trolls worked around the clock to flood platforms such as Twitter and Facebook with seemingly organic messages of support. Fans leapt to his defense, debated his critics, and sang praises of his leadership style of crucial midterm elections that were held in May. Except it's all an illusion, manufactured by hundreds of fake accounts, all meticulously tracked on a spreadsheet. This one, she is a fan of K-pop, said one female worker, pointing to an open Twitter page showing the fake profile of a young pink-cheeked woman buried among her fan posts for bands such as BTS are messages in the support of the Senate candidate. I don't know what any of that means. The more likes and retweets, the better she's doing. The more they get paid. See, if you can be a professional troll, I guess you can make a lot of money. The candidate was not elected, but came close. Several paid troll farms and one self-described influencer said they have been approached and contracted by international clients, including from Britain, to do the political work. Others are planning to expand overseas, hoping to start regionally. So everyone's getting into the propaganda market. Okay, I think that used to be a crime once upon a time. That was something that the government should not engage in, was propaganda, which is laughable because that's all they do. Government means to control the mind. We're not doing anything to the American people. We outsource that to Philippines. Sort of like, gagging people with masks is a war crime if you're doing it against some other population. But if you do it to your own population, it's all well and good. Just like spraying the skies with chemicals. Yeah, if you do it to some other country, it's a war crime. But if you do it to your own people, it's research. It has all become an enterprise. Journalism professor at the University of the Philippines who has extensively researched misinformation on the internet. So she turned her computer on. Has it come to a point where you can rely on the Philippines for all sorts of things? Trolls, click farms, whatever you want. Because everybody wants trolls. Everybody wants click farms. Get into your character. He calls his operation a white troll farm. Now an industry standard white. They're acting like white people. A white troll farm. Positive trolling is another way to describe it. So white people are positive, said the owner of a public relations firm that now specializes in these services. The idea, he said, was to counter the vitriol of the black trolls in the Philippines linked to the strongman president Rodrigo Duterte, whose supporters have turned online intimidation into an art. It's funny how all these people have like Spanish and French names, and the people in the Philippines are supposed to be Asian. Okay. The troll operator said he watched from the sidelines. 2016, when he harnessed the power of self-declared patriots and turned them into an organized cyber mob of diehard Duterte supporters, or DDS. He was shocked to see female candidates and opposition leaders being humiliated on Facebook, threatened with rape and even death. So your death threats and your rape threats are coming from the Philippines from professional trolls. So that was a little bit too much for him because there's starting to be some liability in there, and you have some serious legal problems when you start, when people start talking about bullying laws, right? And red flag laws about getting your guns if you spout off on social media. How does that affect these Philippine trolls who their job is to do anything to get you upset? Well, it says right here, then we've assumed the white troll farm now, where we're all nothing but positivity. Duarte-linked trolls use this power to peddle lies, concoct fake news, brainwash people, he says in an interview. I said, at least people should be influenced properly. Influence them in a positive way. His rules are strict, no harassment, no targeting of women or minorities. No targeting of, so we're only going to target white men. No fake news. Comments cannot be posted through simple copy and paste. Job must be new and original. Now, understand, this is what this guy says his guidelines are, but none of that's true. Okay? None of that's true. His clients range from real estate firms looking to sell units in new developments to overseas Filipinos companies battling public relations crisis, blah, 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 blah. Is there any other use for this other than politics? Not that I don't think so. When I launched this 2 years ago, the idea was really to target politicians since it's really meant for them. Right. They're always targets of fake news. They're always on the news. He likens the job to theater. Right. Because the whole world is a stage. And you say, like, it doesn't matter if Biden or Trump or whoever is in the office. It's part of the script has already been written. It's like people who yell at the television and the movie screen when there's something going on. Okay. The script, it's not going to change the television program. It's not. The script has already been written. Okay. Every campaign starts with this is how they do it. This is the backbone of it. Every campaign starts with client presentation. Any client who asks for a black operation is turned away, he said. Even if they have the term black operation, knows that they do it. Okay, this is obviously they're going to do it. Why would you turn away 90% of your customers? Once it's approved, the client has to provide SIM cards. One is needed for every Facebook or Twitter account. So you're wondering how they do all this stuff. They log in everything through their phone number. He then asked for 15 days. I call it a cultivation period, he said. We just make accounts. A social media manager who chose to be identified as Agnes carts almost 1,000 SIM cards with her. In case Facebook asks for a login code sent through text, each SIM card stands for a fictitious character who lives on social media. He or she goes shopping, drinks latte, poses a popular tourist spot, and shares gifts received. You really keep it alive. So when you click on someone's name with a weird comment in YouTube and you go to their page and there's nothing there, likely it's a troll bot. Okay. I know it's not everybody, but likely it is. Okay. Especially if they created their account 10 years ago, they will have at least like clicked on something and bookmarked it or liked it or something like that that will show up in their feed. For a long time, it was your liked videos would always show on your page no matter what. They turned that off a while ago, but it used to be that. So when you've got nothing on somebody's page, it was just an account just to put up, just to spy or troll or something. And, and people want to make a big deal out of when they see an article about somebody and they look them up on Facebook and they have what appears to be a real life, doesn't mean anything. These guys take 2 weeks. Now, if you're part of a campaign and it's like a PSYOP or a false flag event or something like that, you've got 2 weeks to create people. You can put more than a couple of pictures on there. You can link up all these accounts of a big artificial fake family with stock photographs. Not hard. Troll versus troll. This is Jesuit stuff. Then they get it to work. When a politician attacked by Agnes's client, her team went into overdrive. They pointed out, ironically, that he was merely using hired hacks to criticize the client. The rival ended up deleting his post. So they will put up what's called a red herring type argument, where if someone brings up a very valid point in something, a troll will come in and try to red herring everything. Just like watching a debate with a lot of the atheists. They just red herring stuff. Okay. Throw out something else to argue about that's stupid and nonsensical and anything to divert the attention away. We know we could look at our enemies if we're fighting online. We check to see if the accounts are real. Agnes says, we know what could happen to us too, so we keep the account alive. So if they see us, they'll go, oh, this person was in blah, blah, blah. So basically what they're saying is they check their accounts to make sure that, there's this whole counter-terrorism thing. Everybody hires their PR group. PR group is a nice way of saying we have trolls in Philippines. And all of this is what it is. We're giving you this money. Go out and go troll, make us look good. And yeah, as long as people are confused, then everything is a win. Filipinos spend the most time online in the world, more than 10 hours on the internet a day, according to social media analytics from whatever their thing is. So yeah, a large portion of people over there are engaged in this sort of thing. So yeah, be careful on the internet. And it's most of the time not even worth, unless you trust the source or trust the page, like my page or something. There's no reason to even ever comment. And sometimes it's fun to have fun with trolls. Make them confused. Yeah, I used to have a real problem with that. I was flagged for some reason. Someone got mad at me. Used to have a huge problem. Brett, where you been, man? It's all good. I'm just talking about YouTube stuff. YouTube stuff and trolling. This was the video the live stream that I was going to do like a few days ago. Got put on the back burner until we get new YouTube terms of service. That says they own all my content. So, that's how that goes. Let's see what else we got here. Josh Rubio, apparently there's a new strain of COVID that makes a person as absolutely asymptomatic. Oh, you mean the original strain where nobody's dying? 99.97% survival rate. And there are 0 new flu cases in the flu season. Normally by now we'd have a million people sick with the flu, but there is no flu this year. So, Brett, world's gone crazy. Oh man, I'm loving it. I am really having a good time in it. For so many different reasons. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like people like me have been telling people about days like this for 10 years. So if you want to close your business and huff and puff on a mask, that's your business. You can go back into anyone out there who's watching and repeat. You can go back, to March or April when the first COVID thing started and look at my videos then where I say, look, man, this is just the beginning. Okay. This is just the beginning. There'll be another lockdown and people will actually start dying in the second lockdown. How do you know? I must be a prophet. No, they wrote it down and that's the plan. Okay. But I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist. I don't know what I'm talking about. Fine. I'm crazy conspiracy theorist guy. Fine. Your words don't hurt me. You can call me alt-right, crazy conspiracist, extremist, whatever you want. I don't care. You huff and puff on your mask, you close your businesses, and you'll be the ones volunteering yourself into some sort of a camp where they can feed you and take care of you because you can't. And that's the reality of the situation. It ain't going to be people rounding people up, banging on doors, hauling people from their homes and confiscating guns, any of that. No, it's going to be a bunch of broke people who got themselves into $1 million of debt. And now they have to live on the new communist system of universal basic income. And those people with $1 million in debt are going to volunteer themselves to go off to a camp so they don't have to pay their debt. And that's what's going to happen. Already been written down, already the plan. And it's going to be the people who refuse to wear the mask and close their businesses are going to be to blame in the future. That's how the textbooks will be written. Okay. So yeah, that's what's going on. Boy, we cover everything today. How YouTube hates me. How internet trolls are fake people from the Philippines. And our new lockdown. I mean, of course, live streaming lockdown stuff. I'm always willing to do that because they could literally just flip the switch and be like, hey, you can't talk COVID. And I'm fine with that. At this point, I don't care. If they're saying they own it, they can own it. They can own it. How many of these little battles? There is no winning the battle. The only way to win any battle is to not participate. See, although the system is 100% voluntary, 100% YouTube voluntary. I don't want them to own my stuff, so I don't have to participate. I don't know. I mean, the only place where I could see where it may not entirely be voluntary is if you're in a bunch of debt and you need to work at the business that you work for. That's a big corporate conglomerate thing where they say everyone's got to wear the mask, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's up for people to decide whether or not they're going to wear their mask or what they're going to do. But at the very, very least, if you're in the position where you can't lose your job or you can't find a different one, and, it's probably not a good idea to do that at this point, make sure that they give you a face shield. Don't huff and puff on your own crap coming out of your mouth all day long. It's very, very, very bad for you. It kills your brain cells. So don't do that. Get a face shield, and enjoy the ride, and understand that COVID is never going to kill you because it does not exist. Okay. And my wife gets mad at me all the time for that. It does exist. It's a thing in your body. It's like, yes, but you can call anything something, I can call the common cold I don't know, think up a name. Just because I rename something doesn't make it different or changed or something deadly. What appears to be is that anything that your body processes and as a waste product of any sort of not infection or bacteria or any sort of toxin that's in your body that your body processes and gets rid of is effectively the COVID. Okay. It's also known as the common cold. It's also known as the flu. It's all the same junk, and it's not living. It's stuff that your body creates inside itself and discards. That's why everybody has it. All right. Can't catch it. You can inject it into people. It'll probably make them sick, but are they going to catch COVID? No, because COVID is not a bacterial illness thing. It's not living. They'll make you positive for COVID. In my mind, it's all pixie dust and fairy tales because 99.97% survival rate is a rounding error. Okay. That's putting COVID death on people that have been on hospice care, putting COVID death on people when you scrape the motorcyclist off the sidewalk from running into a bridge at 100 miles an hour, you put COVID. That's what that 0.03 percentage is. All right. Or the 103-year-old person in the home, in the old folks home. That's that 0.03%. Anyways, everyone, you do what you want to do. You wear your mask, you huff and puff, close your businesses down, and then cry about how it's everybody else's fault but your own for doing it. Okay. That's the determination that I made. Haywood Stubbs, so you don't want to voluntarily spread the word. Are you talking about the Bible? Sure. I just don't have to do it on YouTube, nor do I have to do it at all. I've been doing this for like 8 years. I don't work for them. Who cares about money? Well, it's not about money. It's about ownership of your product. For all I know, if I uploaded a old video of me that I uploaded years ago, they're claiming ownership of. For all I know, if I go to try and publish it or make money off it, YouTube could have a claim on me. I don't know how that works. That's what it sounds like if they want to give me royalty fees. I was never in a boardroom with whatever her name is. I never got to sign any contract. Vaccine is going to mess people up. Yeah, if you take it. I mean, again, if you take, this stuff has been going on for almost a year. I mean, if you're dumb enough to wear the mask, if you're dumb enough to take a vaccine, it's like, bye. I ain't got nothing to say to you. Go for it. What are you supposed to do? I mean, I don't have time to deal with that. I don't have time to go over everything that I've studied for the last year and all of the stuff that I've known from before that to catch people up. You have to put in work. If you want to, it's people's own responsibility to navigate the earth. It's not just sit there and let the government tell me what's good and what's bad, and then I give money. I can go back. I pay taxes, so I don't have to take any responsibility over anything in my entire life. And I pay insurance. No, then you live that life. Go live it. Go down to the internment camp or the project building or whatever they set up for broke people who shut their businesses down. I don't know. You can all huff and puff in your mask, and that's fine. That's fine. The designer mask, Brett. Yeah, I made a video about that back in March. Yeah. You know, it's totally about health when you can go to Target and there's a rack of all of these masks that people can, and there's a mirror there so people can take the mask and put the mask on and try it out in the mirror to see how it fits and then put the mask back on the shelf. That was going on in like March, April, or was it May or June, right at the beginning of the summertime. It's a health pandemic. Yeah, it's all nonsense. And, you know, if you'll participate in nonsense, don't tell me about it. Motive is making money or not wanting to make a sacrifice to spread the word. Well, what would you know, Hayward Stubbs? Are you a troll? What would you know? I have done my fair share. I have done my fair share. And I'm not dead yet. But hey, I got to do some sifting now of these people who want to believe in this narrative, the people who don't want to, who will take whatever the government tells them and run with that. And I get to be an alt-righty. I'm a male misogynist, whatever they come up with. You know, if you want to live in that world, go live in that world. You want to know what battles you fight is what actually affects you. Okay. There are stores around here that have signs that say it's the law to put on a mask. That's incorrect. I have half a mind to go down there and go battle them on that and go test them on some of this stuff, but I don't. Why? Because they're not stores that I go to. That's for somebody else to deal with. Every time I go out, I never bring a mask. I've never worn a mask, never will wear a mask. Okay. The stores that I go to, they want to start that nonsense. Then I have something to fight about because now it affects me in my life. Or whatever's going on. My wife works at a hospital. Okay. They have all sorts of stuff going on there that I got to deal with. Okay. If it's outside of that, it's not my job to fight people all across the world. Everyone in their different situations in their different towns and cities. Now I'm going to tell you, LA and them are one of the biggest places for lockdown communist garbage. There's a guy in there who's very somewhat famous, who is a personal trainer for celebrities, who never closed once, owns a gym. The first thing they close in these places, the first one, they're doing a lockdown tonight in Minnesota. First things on the list is the restaurants and the gyms. This guy's in LA, never closed. But it's a mandate. There are going to be fines and suspensions. No, there isn't, guys. There's no law. None. So if you don't even have the guts to test these laws, when your very survival depends on it, if you own a business, your very survival depends on it, and you won't test the law, supposed law, you won't test the system, you won't get your ticket, then close your doors. You're done. I don't have any time for you. None. You can point at me and say, I'm the bad man then. My wife has to wear a mask all day at work. She only works a few hours a night though. And she's actually off because she wouldn't take the test. And we're working on the face mask thing instead, but she only works a couple hours a night. So yeah, that's how that is. Shouldn't do it at all though. Shouldn't do it at all. There isn't, there's a few other things that are behind that as to where we're not in a very big town. So it's kind of like finding other employment means essentially, okay, now I got to add a half-hour commute to wherever you got to work to. So, I mean, there's more to it than that, but it's not like going into it, you understand that the mask is bad and you understand all this stuff, not voluntarily complying and pointing out, where's your mask? Pointing out to other people or forcing customers to wear masks or anything like that. It's a totally different deal. And anyways, that's my problem. That's nobody else's problem. So that's what I got. Yeah, by all means, you guys. What have I done for Christ lately? Yeah, that's Gamma Troll. Yeah, I do my thing. You worry about you. And yeah, I'm at the point where like my videos are not for everybody. My videos are for people who want to think. My videos are for people who actually have at least an average level IQ, who understand nonsense when they see it and aren't afraid of truth. You got two types of people in the world: people that rejoice in truth and people where they make excuses. They rejoice in excuses. We can't have the truth. I need excuses. And I'm getting kind of tired of it. And yeah, everybody's got bigger problems than to argue over whether or not Adam had a belly button. So I haven't done anything with that in a while. You know, and as far as YouTube goes, you know, maybe we'll do some live streaming on all the topics that they don't like. So, you know, we can at least use the rest of our time wisely. And, you know, hopefully I can get out established on some other platform where people will be able to find me and all that good stuff. The news is fake too. They had Sandy hoax go viral on purpose. Yeah, that was a whole big scam. I don't know a ton about it. Have I heard what's in the vaccine from Brett? Yeah, I know a little bit about it, but a lot of people are saying that it's going to mutate your DNA and it's the mark of the beast and all this. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter if it is. Just don't take it. I know a lot of people aren't taking it. People that are actually lefty, crazy people, and a lot of low IQ people aren't taking it. So, you know, we'll see what happens with it. But people are always looking for this definitive, now we're in the end times. Now we're in it. This is the mark of the beast. You take it, you go to hell, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. The mark of the beast is taking shape in many, 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 many different ways. The Antichrist is taking shape in many, 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 many different ways. We're going to be gone by the time that mark thing is happening. And the people that are here are going to want to take it. Okay. They're going to want to take it. What if mark of the beast is debt forgiveness? A permanent middle-class lifestyle for the rest of your life. No ownership of anything, but a permanent middle-class lifestyle. Terabit a second internet, crazy fast internet. A lot of people are going to sign up for that. Okay. The important thing is to remember is it's all voluntary. And recognizing how wrong something is, it's like, if you have to wear a mask for whatever reason, you know, out of respect for other people, okay? If you're going to someone's house or if you're in a situation where it's a personal thing, it is respectful of you to respect the other person's rights. If you're talking about a public store, no. Absolutely not. And the more people, let me tell you what the mask thing is, the employees are happy when they see people without masks because they don't want to wear the mask. Okay. They are still people behind that mask, guys. It's not a big new world order regime just because they put a mask on. It's to dehumanize them. It's their slave mask. They don't want to wear it. They need the job because they're $500,000 in debt. Okay. So, you know, they're still people and they're happy when you don't have the mask. Then some of them will take it off. Understand what it is. That's the important thing. So, yeah. That's about what I got. I got other stuff I got to do. So, yeah, YouTube owns all the stuff. And, you know, it's only a matter of time whether they switch me off anyway. So, you know, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So anyways, Brett, I hope you're doing good. Your wife does all the grocery shopping and errands and she never wore a mask yet. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, my wife goes out here and there, but typically we go together because people are nuts. You know, we're kind of homebodies, and she'll go out and maybe go pick up you know, something for 5 minutes or something like that. But if we're doing a shopping thing, usually I'm going to go with, because people are crazy. It's not the system. It's not Walmart. It's not these corporations that are trying to force this stuff on you. It is the crazy baby boomers that are all heroined out, that are all hunched over with their mask on, you know, yeah, put your mask on. It's those people who are crazy. And, you know, I'm not worried about the Walmart employee. Okay. I'm worried about these crazy whatevers. I can't go on a rant about that. I'll make that for another day. This was only supposed to be why YouTube is forget YouTube. But you know, I can't help myself. I can't help myself. So with that, guys, I am going to be